First of all, thank you, Arjen, for having us here. It's actually our first time on stage. It's quite a hard position being the last one. And I also had a nice speech prepared, not on paper, but at least in mind. And honestly speaking, we have heard almost everything which a typical VC might tell us. So 15 or 14 great speeches so far. And it's quite hard for me now to have something new on the stage. So I will start to tell you a little bit about myself, about my way to venture capital. I think at least that is new, because I haven't heard anybody talking about me today, so at least that should be new for you. Then I will tell you something about our name, Berlin Technologie Holding. It's even German, so we didn't put the Y, we put the EI. And that's a quite unfamiliar name for a typical tech investor, but I will tell you a little bit about each part of the name, why we are called BTH, or Berlin Technologie Holding. And last but not least, I will tell you something about where we invest, where we are looking at, what we find interesting, and what we are looking at also in a due diligence, what's our way of not just investing in portfolio companies, but also going with them the long way to hopefully success. So that would be maybe the last part of my speech. So myself, that's the new stuff for you guys. I spent 8 years as a management consulting for a big consulting company, international one. After 8 years, I was a little bit bored, founded my first company, which was in the smart meter, smart home environment. So what Nest and Google is doing a little bit in a different way. It was a regulatory bet, and the EU didn't play the way we want them to play. So we closed it down after approximately 1 year. It was just too early. It was back in 2008. I then founded my second company, which was a little bit more successful. It was even a hard way. It was a vertical commerce player. So it was typical e-commerce. We do not invest in e-commerce with our fund now, but I wasn't a typical e-commerce guy. It was a hard game. It was a mid-scale e-commerce topic, not the typical stuff Holzbrink or Tengelmann Ventures is going in. So we recognized that at a specific time that it's going that it's a quite hard way through all the funding rounds. So I totally understand you guys. It was really, I was, I think, on 100 plus of such events, even if this is the best event I've ever been. So I've experienced also this side. We then sold it to a strategic player, and then I decided not to go for the third time all this hard bootstrapping, working, entrepreneurial stuff, and I decided to switch the table and now, together with some great guys, invest via Berlin Technologie Holding. Why we are called that name, basically Berlin, because we believe in Germany and we believe in the European tech scene. So I once met a guy from Israel, and he said, look, that's nice what you're doing here in Europe, but honestly speaking, we don't have German entrepreneurs on our walls as posters, so we look more as the Silicon Valley. I said, okay, that's maybe worthwhile to change. So, and we think, what we see today, not just in Berlin, there are also great other places. For example, Munich, also deep tech stuff is going on there. So we really think it's worthwhile to invest in German technology. So that's the second part. We do invest in internet-enabled or web-enabled technology businesses. What does it mean? Based on our couple of last portfolio companies we invested in, it was mainly mobile technology, but we don't fix just the mobile technology. We fix to everything which is based on a recurring revenue model. So we like to see that in your business plan. We don't like direct shops, so we don't invest in B2C and B2B shops, but we invest in commerce tech, so to say. So we're looking also at the financial tech area. And we strongly look at, as I said, on mobile tech, and I will come later to this, why we look at that. And the first thing, which is most unusual for a venture capitalist, not just that we have a German name, everything is English at the moment, but we have a German name, is the holding part. The holding part is basically we invest not just the money from our investors, but we also invest significant amount of own money via our holding vehicle. So every deal we are doing, there's a significant part of it is our own money. So we believe that because we are not typical investors, we are more investing entrepreneurs. So because we all have an entrepreneurial background, so we also think where it's worthwhile investing for our investors, it's also worthwhile investing for us. So we always put own money in the companies. So in which companies do we invest, or at what we are looking at? We typically look at three types of risk. First is market risk, second is product risk, third is execution risk. Market risk is typically one of the biggest problems. First of all, there are many startups out there which are very, very good companies, but just not typical VC companies because there's a too little market or it's a niche market. So we have to say no to them, even if it's hard because they're great entrepreneurs, great founders. And so we help that market risk by accelerating it via direct access to foreign companies. So we really help the companies to get not just the product right, also to get traction. We try to invest in disruptive technologies. That's also connected to a little bit more risk, but we don't believe in copycats. And the third one is execution risk. We invest in great teams, that's everybody saying, but we also really closely work with this great team. So currently I work for two portfolio companies of us, 2 days a week, really operative. So we also work with the companies, we invest on money, we work with the companies. And as I said, I'm still an entrepreneur, but with a little bit different business model for the time being, but that's the way we are thinking. And maybe some words about the last year, so you get a little bit better feeling what we are doing. We invested in Sensorberg, Berlin-based iBeacon technology platform. We invested in Test Hub together with Applause. So we bought Applause, we bought Test Hub together with Applause and made Applause EU out of it. We invested later stage in Sevenwell, of mobile technology company back from the even 90s. So they also survived the first round, the first internet bust. And one of our last investments was Minodis, formerly known as Realytics, doing offline analytics. We invest in them together with Project A. So I think I'm running out of time. Even I'm the last one, and there's plenty of time left. But thanks for the opportunity being here on stage. I hope it wasn't too bad, so we are invited next time again. And if you have any questions or any proposal to us, I would be more than happy if you come back to me. Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot.